of Mother Goddess and the Father and the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And would you look at that? I even turned on my microphone on time. Isn't that awesome? I can do it once in a while. I hope everyone's having just a great Friday evening because, hey, yeah, it's Friday. Absolutely. So, we are being broadcast live on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And if you are listening in on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button if you like the show. And subscribe if you want to know more about it. Send me an email at wildepaisley@gmail.com, WILDEPAISLEY @gmail.com. And, no matter how you are listening, make sure you stop in and say hi because I like it and I told you to do it. And because I said so. So, yeah. Either in the chat room or, via email. I see we've got Lucky, Spread, Lewis, Ruthie, Friendly in TFR. And then in YouTube, I am seeing Julia. Hi, Blacktree, Cameron, Elaine, Ethan, Sonia, Titan, Lucky again. Don is in the chat room. Hey, Don. Oh, do you actually want to be on camera or are you busy eating?
Well, I just got home from work. If people want to see me eat, then fine. If not,
nom,
well...
nom, nom.
Nom, 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 nom.
Hey, Sonia, Ethan, Titan, yeah, all sorts of yells are just going on. So, glad to see you guys there. And if you want to support the show, please do so. You can go to etsy.com/shop/Monarch Mountain Studio. Mountain is MTN. Or you can go to patreon.com/the spaces between. And, I'm adding stuff to the Patreon page. Hey, Lois. So if you want that special stuff, you better, go ahead and, subscribe to the Patreon.
There you go.
Yeah. And the low level's like $1 a month. I couldn't make it free. I actually had to put a dollar value on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you do? But yeah, $1 a month, that's not much. And so I've been trying to put some show notes in there. Just because, you guys ask a lot of questions and why not? Yeah, chowing down. My fair Paisley. You're funny, Lewis. So yeah, it's all good. How was your Friday night, Mr. Don?
It was busy. It was a busy night. I really can't keep that I can't keep driving that car or I can't keep XM radio. It's just going to make me drive too fast. It's not good.
Are you blaming a potential speeding ticket on a car or XM radio?
XM radio. The car is fine.
Okay then. You're blaming the radio. That is
my story, and dang it, I'm sticking to it.
I don't know what to tell you, man. You're just, yeah.
Radio's not good.
Actually, it's great. I listened to a podcast today.
That's nice.
Yeah.
About what?
Politics.
Politics, so.
Well, sometimes I gotta do other things besides being a pagan, I gotta keep my eye on the world today, too.
Yeah, especially when you're in it. Yep. Good point.
So, a Titan asked a question about
Deja vu.
Deja vu. So I figured I'd address that before we get going on. I don't know too much about the pineal gland, other than I can mostly pronounce it. and Don's got his mouth full of food, or else I'm sure he'd have 3 cents. But
something like pineal gland?
No, pineal. Not penal. Penal is something else entirely.
Uh-huh.
Pineal. And so deja vu, what do I think it is? That's hard, because I've had deja vu, and there have been times when the deja vu is so extreme that it really truly feels like I've been or have actually had that experience before, some of them. And I generally take it, you're so weird, take it as a marker in my life that I'm going in the right direction, that I'm doing the right thing, because that's my little signpost that I'm where I'm supposed to be in life. Oh yeah, the lines are open. Thank you, Julia. You're awesome. 213-233-3998 or across the pond in the UK. It is 44203-393-2871. You're fired. Your phone dinged.
Oh, big deal. My phone always dings.
Aren't you supposed to mute those?
It was Cade.
Oh, hi, Cade. Not that I can't talk to Cade. Cade's not on my show.
That's not my problem.
Yes, it is.
So, Deja Vu. Were you done with Deja Vu?
So, you could take Deja Vu as, like I do, it's a signpost that something has happened. Or that you're on the right path, because that's kind of how I feel. It may be that you've lived that experience once before, and so it is a past life kind of syncing up with your current life. Cam says it's kind of like a crease in time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's you're just living through something again and again and again, and that could very well be
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. So, but yeah, no, I really do feel it's like for me, it's a signpost, a marker saying, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is when I'm supposed to be doing it.
Huh.
Because some of them have been really, really very intense, and it's bizarre because I could almost tell you what the person is going to say next. I don't ever say it out loud because I don't want to be weird like that, but I've experienced it. I tried to remember to journal it just because it's interesting. And generally, I can tell when I've had a dream about something of some sort that it's going to show up as a deja vu later. I've had some dreams that are true dreams.
So wouldn't you would you consider a dream of something that you would wouldn't you consider a dream sometimes a deja vu?
Yeah, I would.
Instead of a vujade.
You're so weird. Apparently weird's my name for you tonight. I have things I can throw at you.
Do not throw things at me. Are you done?
All right, so yeah.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on deja vu?
My thoughts are,
now that there's no food in your mouth?
Well, I've purposely not shoved food in my mouth for the last minute, waiting patiently for you to drink your coffee. I think deja vu is, yes, I'll agree with the past life stuff. It's you possibly remembering a time that you had done this before in a previous life. Sure, I could take that. I could work with that. I've had certain flashes of deja vu. I can't really remember them. They really didn't stick out. They may have been induced in some way. But I remember one time I was sitting on the Sea of Cortez. I was sitting on the beach in Baja, Mexico, looking at the Sea of Cortez, and it just felt right. It was like it was where I was supposed to be. It seemed like I had been in that situation before. I was eating M&Ms and drinking a Sprite. It was awesome. But it's one of those feelings for me. I don't think I've had many, but not true deja vu. But it's one of those experiences for me that feel right. So yeah, I think it's a marker. I think it could be looked at as a marker of you're doing things right. You've been here before. You were supposed to be here. So you may be doing the right things. Now, I wonder, though, if, like, you have a deja vu of a moment that you don't want necessarily to remember, if it's also a marker saying, hey, you're going left and you're supposed to go right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also, I guess, could remind you that, you have been here before.
Mm-hmm.
You've been down that road before. And you know where that road goes, Neo.
Right.
I don't know why the Matrix has been in my head. But speaking of Matrix, let's go with the Mandela effect idea.
Yes.
So the idea that something has changed. There's a glitch in the Matrix and something has changed. And it's a deja vu.
Mhm.
Because of Vuja days, the feeling of never having done this before.
You're so weird.
But
No, and I think there is something to that because I personally have experienced the Mandela effect. For those of you who don't know what a Mandela effect is, can you explain it now that you have food in your mouth? Never mind. Basically, um, is it named for Nelson Mandela? Really? Because that's the one that was really big and a major one.
well,
So-
it's because many people remember Nelson Mandela dying
Yes, I do.
in like the 80s.
Yeah. It was like a big deal.
But he didn't die in the 80s.
I know.
He died in the early 90s
Oh, I know.
after he was released from prison
Yeah.
and after being, I
Mhm.
guess, I don't know the proper term, president, premier
Mhm.
of South Africa.
Yeah, I remember him being dead.
Yeah, no, he was not dead.
So,
But that is where they get the name.
yeah, Mandela effect. So yeah, it's pretty wild. So yeah, there's all. We're not going to go into it right now. Mandela effect, even though we probably could spend a whole show on that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, something's resetting itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
There's a lot of people who will blame Mandela effect on CERN and the search for the Higgs, the Boseman-Higgs
Mhm.
atom,
Mhm.
the God atom, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess you could also blame Tom Hanks, though.
What, Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks actually turned that thing on.
Tom Hanks did?
Yeah, apparently he virtually flipped the switch somehow or something like that. I don't remember.
Is that why he ended up on an island with this volleyball?
It was, it was a way long time ago. Anyhow.
Okay. Bizarre. Nope. Didn't know anything about that.
Mhm.
So yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Had no idea. Apparently they're making a vaccine from his blood too, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, I never knew that Tom Hanks was going to rule the world. I always thought it was Tom Cruise was going to. Different Tom.
The other Tom. Actually, I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was a lady way back in like 1800s or something,
Mm-hmm.
and she survived through some horrible virus, something, plague, something,
Okay.
and she had it. And every vaccine that has ever been made regarding that particular virus has been made from her cloned DNA because she survived it. She had all the antibodies you needed, and it worked.
Okay then.
So I can't remember the. I can't remember the
Whom she was?
what it was, who she was. I don't remember, unfortunately. But that's where they
Really?
get that whole idea.
Lucky says that her name is Mary.
I believe that's right. Mary something.
Yeah, you guys like Jinx. She posted that just as you said Mary something.
Oh.
That was funny. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know how. So, Berenstein Bears versus Berenstein Bears.
It's Berenstein or Berenstain.
Stain.
Yeah.
So,
There's also Bible verses that have changed. Did you know that?
yeah, they've been changed a lot. But
So,
that's a different story.
Okay, fine.
We can get into biblical stuff on a different show.
Yeah, but it has to do with Mandela effect, which has nothing to do with the deja vu, maybe.
Maybe.
So, but anyhow, I digress. I think it is a marker. I think it could be both good and bad. Remember,
Well, a signpost is just a signpost.
Right.
Often it gives directions either left, right, or forward, or maybe turn around and go back the other way. You're at a crossroads, if you will. And so, just you need to kind of pay attention to that and what is it that you need to do, or are you doing are you on the right path, or do you need to just change slightly? Yeah, the wolf and the lion.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's always lay down with the lion.
the lamb lays with the lion,
Yeah.
not the wolf.
Yeah.
I think they changed it because, or it's changed, or it's mutated because a lamb is a sheep, and when you talk about sheep, you talk about wolves, not lions.
So, and just like that, Lucky brings us to tattoos. So, is a tattoo a way to diminish the Mandela effect on your life? Wow, that's a loaded, loaded question. Tighten now. Ask all the questions you want. This is good. Because we're getting into my topic. I wanted to talk about tattoos. So, are you going to lick your shirt?
No.
Do I need to move the
No,
camera? Okay.
Just do your show.
So, with the Mandela effect, in theory, it can change the entire timeline. That's kind of what we're talking about a little bit. And so if you're tattooing yourself, a memory of yourself or a marker upon yourself, Lucky says, lick your shirt. She's daring you now. The tattoo on the wrist actually didn't hurt that much. It hurt, but it wasn't that bad. I'm getting one on this side.
You are?
Yep. I'm going to get moons. I can't wait. I think in a way, it could be like putting a save point, I suppose, on your computer.
Save point.
And so,
You have advanced to level 5.
hey, you know what? I'm not getting older. I'm going up in levels.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and tell yourself that.
You bet your
Anyhow.
buttons I'm gonna.
Save point.
Save point. So yeah, I think possibly it could be a tattoo could be considered a save point in your life, depending upon what it is. Now, some people go out and get a tattoo, and it's just art. Not that art is a bad thing, but it is. It's
Or
art.
it's a drunk thing.
Are you speaking from experience?
No.
Okay.
Never done that.
Anyways, but some tattoos are specifically to commemorate, to memorialize an event or time or a thing in your life or something that has value or importance to you. I have an acorn. I'm called by Caninos. That's what the acorn's for. I'll have the moons for Hecate here probably. I'm hoping within like the next week, maybe. We'll see. We shall see. I'm very excited about that. But so it's, and I need a cover up on another one because it's old. I've had it for 25 years. 20. Let me count that again. 27 years. Anyways, so it's just a matter of trying to, some tattoos have meaning and some are art. And if you go and you get flash, which is generally done just something, oh, it's a pretty picture in the book and I want that. Just because I think it's pretty. That I don't think is a save point.
Oh.
It's when you get something that has meaning to you.
Mm-hmm.
Then that is when you are creating that save point in your life. Like I have the acorn. Technically that was flash. I got it on Friday the 13th last year. And
But if it means something to you, then it's still
right,
it's
so,
still a marker.
The tattoo shops here in town, pre-COVID, Friday the 13th, they often have sales. And this was a $13 tattoo for Friday the 13th. Another tattoo shop had other artwork that just didn't appeal to me. And I went out wanting a tattoo, wanting to spend the $13 and tax, because I'm a dork and I get it. And I figured if I saw the right flash the right one, that's what I would get. And lo and behold, he had an acorn, but everybody else had just like random crap, which I suppose an acorn to other people would be more random crap. So, yeah, and so yeah, tattoos I think can be very, very, very important, very valid, especially to the pagan and the witch, because a lot of them have that kind of meaning. Because The pagan faith just celebrates the gods, the goddesses, the deities, and depending upon your path, you may have some representation of the deity that you follow or that you are working with. And so a lot of people choose like Pan or kiddos or the moons or some aspect of the mother for a tattoo. Others do runes or other imagery, and it just has some sort of meaning to you. And you really should stop and think about it before you get a tattoo. And in doing some research, I actually found the best advice about a tattoo.
Oh,
from a Christian website.
oh boy!
I was really
They're not
surprised.
supposed to tattoo themselves. That's defacing the temple of God.
As one line in Leviticus that was talking about it.
So,
And which Leviticus technically is Old Testament. And supposedly when Jesus came around, New Testament, he said all that stuff in the Old Testament is hogwash now and move forward. So,
yeah, they didn't move forward.
yeah, no.
Anyhow.
Anyways. So, for the longest time, if you got a tattoo, you were considered, marked by Satan from the Christians. But as tattoos have become more accepted and recognized as an approved art or an approved way to put stuff on your body and interact and everything, that's changed. It's almost trendy. Tattoos are trendy. Everybody gets tattoos nowadays. It's no longer a bad thing. I'm probably not ever going to get a tattoo upon my face because that's not my gig. It's not my jam. So, but there's one that I'd like to have behind my left ear and one behind my right ear, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll do that or not. Little ones, teeny tiny. But I knew a gal.
Could you imagine a tattoo gun tatting away on your?
The shell of your ear is a very popular place to get like little bitty butterflies and dragonflies and flowers and stuff. But yeah, it'd be like, ah. But I've known people who get tattoos across their forehead, who are priestesses, and it's like, I'm glad you're committed to your faith, but I don't think I could do that just because I know how prejudiced people could be.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't have a problem being out of the pagan pantry or broom closet mostly, I just don't think I'm ready to put it out there on a billboard. Granted, my bangs are kind of long, but still, that takes a whole different level of commitment. So yeah, present day witches and pagans are not afraid to share spells, tarot readings, things that they have that are important to them, and so tattooing that represent our faith, the pagan path, is really becoming more prevalent, more common. And so witches, pagans, etc. are proudly wearing tattoos, even the ones on the forehead, that not only express their personality but are reflective of the faith that they are dedicated to or what they're doing. So that's part of the reason why, the acorns for Knunos and I'll get the moons for Hecate. And I've got a couple of others that I want. Honestly, I probably have like 5 that I want to get. Maybe 6.
Maybe 6.
But I could probably go more than that, just because I like tattoos, and I don't have a problem sitting there with the tattoo gun going. It's better than a dentist drill.
Yeah, but I mean, behind your ear is a little bit different.
I know.
Things rattle in there.
All I have to do is sneeze and my head rattles. It's okay. So, like I said, a lot of people do equate tattoos with witchcraft when witchcraft is equated with evil. But as more people are coming out of the broom closet, that thought process has changed, and suddenly we're no longer just that evil people. We're being shown as more a oneness with nature and oneness with ourselves, and it's kind of nice to be able to pay homage to our faith and such. It's awesome. So, but you get 20 seconds. You want to say anything before we go to break? Why are you looking at me in that tone of voice?
Hello, my name is Indigo Montoya.
You need a tattoo of a six-fingered hand, apparently. Just like smack. So, yeah, I don't know. It's all good. I think, don't you have some tattoos that you need
Yes, I need covered up.
adjusted?
They were childish tattoos.
And you're a grown-up now.
You said, and you're a grown up now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
I totally get it. So, anyways, it's break time, bottom of the hour, and we will be right back. Yes.
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath the soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart.
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Mother's oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. We're talking about tattoos tonight, and yes, I think tattoos are very good. I think tattoos are awesome, because they can be a marker of your faith, or if you're doing them for protection, you want to make sure the tattoos you're putting upon you have the right meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many
Can I get a
times?
side of fries with that?
Right. Well, there's that, or hey, I want this barcode, you know, or
I knew a gal. She had a barcode on her, and every time when she was at work, she'd scan something over the scanner, and it scanned it.
oh my gosh, what did it come up as? Just out of curiosity.
It just scans it. Well, it's like if you walk into it, like if you're at Walmart and you're doing the self checkout and you run your phone across it, it'll scan your phone. So it's just like,
That's
no sale.
crazy. That is just nutty. That's actually very, very nutty. I would love a strawberry margarita, Julia. I will take one. Two to go.
So
Yeah.
a question was asked about, can you cleanse a tattoo that you had gotten if you were in a dark spot and you were rebelling, or, it reminds me of a picture I saw. It's one of those, the 10 worst tattoos to ever get. Like, oh my God, some of these people.
Oh, people get some strange tattoos.
So, but I mean, if you're getting I know a guy who's got, I can't remember what it is, but it's on his hand. It's on the back of his hand, and it comes down his fingers. Don't cover the mic, Don. And it was a Sumerian god. I can't remember who it was or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like, well, why would you get that? Well, I'm not a Christian. I said, okay, so neither am I. What's your point? I don't care what you are. I asked you a question. Don't be a jerk. And, but he never gave me an answer. But I don't understand why people would get, obvious tattoos. But I digress. The point is if you get a tattoo that has no meaning to you, or that you feel you got in a moment of angst, or, something like that, that means something totally negative to you. I don't know if cleansing it, but maybe actually transform it, not cover it up. Don't get a cover-up tattoo. Have somebody draw you something that actually incorporates that tattoo, that incorporates it into something new and more meaningful to you.
Yes, exactly. And my speaker. There we go. I can hear me now. So if you, for instance, the one I want covered up is a dragon right here on my front. And I got it when I was, how old was I? 18. And I got it because I had just gone through a breakup and was in kind of a bad spot. And I wanted, I've always liked dragons, and I kind of wanted some protection there, And so, which I guess worked out because I didn't have any really major bad relationships after that, some educational ones, but it's faded, and I don't need that in my life right now, so that's why I'm thinking about a cover-up or something else. But yeah, if it would been, something that I got when I was in a bad place, because I needed something else in my life, is why I got it. Transform it, because we are the sum of our parts. So you got that tattoo when you were in a bad spot or in a dark place. That I don't know that I would necessarily cover it up. I would transform it because
Exactly. Yeah.
you're no longer in that bad place, but in theory, you've learned from it and you've moved on. And Sonia says hers were all a spiritual event, even the non-pagan one. So, or non-witch one. And that's, some tattoos they're not a spiritual event. They're hey, I just got a tattoo kind of event. And but yeah, if it's a spiritual type event, you could transform it really easily and integrate the existing design
Exactly. Yeah.
into whatever it is. And yeah, I would probably go through a bit of a ritual with a local priest or priestess, just because make sure you've moved on from that dark spot and get ready to get whatever that transformation is. So so the part that I got from the Christian website, which I thought was real interesting, was to tattoo or not to. It's like, okay, great. But the questions they suggested, now I'm going to read these directly. They are quotes from this website. I'm not going to give you the website because I'm a Christian, and I am not Christian. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Freudian slip.
Freudian slip. Yeah, no, I'm not very Christian. Even when I wasn't a very good one. So, anyways, do you have a clear conscience before the Lord regarding the decision to get that tattoo, or do you feel guilty about getting a tattoo? I think that goes back to, are you in a dark place? Are you getting it to rebel, or do you have a real reason to get the tattoo? Now, before the Lord, take that as you will. Is it something that you feel will help you on your path? Is it truly representative of you? Because how often do we get tattoos just because we get a tattoo? And people do it all the flipping time. When I got my acorn, there are people there. He goes, hey, I've got X number of dollars and I want one of each. And the guy, the tattoo artist, he goes, why? He goes, because I just want tattoos. Like,
Duh.
it's like, dude, okay. So yeah, just stop and think about, why are you getting the tattoo? Are you still gonna want that tattoo years from now?
When it's all stretched, you got stretch marks.
Right,
Yeah.
And like the one I got when I was younger, it's pretty faded now. And when you look at it, you can tell it's flash. And it's just a standard tattoo, and it's cool, but it's not really representative of me. So I need something to change it or do something different now. And so I don't know that I would get an all black sleeve, just because it's kind of hard to come back from that.
Oh my God. Kind of like these.
Yes.
Never mind.
So, and just remember, if you want that lasered off later, it's going to hurt like a mofo.
It's a good cost too.
And yeah, you need some green, because that is an elective surgery, and insurance won't pay for it. So, yeah. Yeah. Craziness. Will my parents and family approve, and or will my future spouse want me to have this tattoo? Now, for me personally, it's not as much of an issue, because I got my tattoo, my first one, and then I asked my mom when I saw her next, even after I'm over 18, I go, hey Mom, is it okay if I get a tattoo? And she goes, no, and she's which is funny because she's a biker chick. And
Who runs herself over with her trike?
I know, right? Hey, it's a legit thing. But so I had already had the tattoo at this point, and I totally forgot about it. So I got it regardless of whether or not my family would approve, because I knew they wouldn't, and I didn't care, because it was me. It was representative of me. It was a me thing. And as far as worrying about my future spouse, or significant other might like or feel about it, accept me as I am. I don't care. But I'm older, and I can go back. I can just. So Sonia goes, if you go black sleeve on one arm, I'll do the opposite arm, and we can have regrets together. LMSO. Okay, so it's laughing my socks off, but we've chatted about this, and S means something else entirely. And it's funny. But so all I could see is regrets instead of regrets.
Regrets.
Your regards.
Hey man, who are the chefs?
Exactly. So, I would hope that all of you that are listening, if you're looking or dating or, wanting to date someone, they accept you as you are, regardless of your tattoos or piercings.
Yeah.
And like Julia, she's like, "Ooh, my husband has an alchemist tattoo on his neck," and she says it's hot, but she doesn't know why. Some tattoos. Sonia, you put it out there. Okay, we got to turn Don down because he's being loud.
She's Canadian, right?
Yeah, she's Canadian.
We'll give her a pass. Can I have that right there?
This? Okay. Don needs a stick. Is that what you want for Christmas? A stick?
A steak?
A stick.
Can I have a jalapeno on a steak?
So.
I want the...
Oh. Does it still pierced?
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at that. Don's tongue is still pierced.
Now I can pick my mouth.
Oh, gosh darn. Don's not allowed on camera anymore. So, yeah, tattoos and piercings, whichever it is you choose, or if you choose to do them, make sure you're going to some place that is, clean.
Clean, yeah, definitely that.
You stop and think about it before you get your tattoo. So, the next one is, will I cause a weaker brother to stumble if I receive a tattoo? Now, remember, this is a Christian statement.
Oh, gosh.
And by golly, that's such an interesting thing to say because if you're strong in your faith, I don't know. I think that one was actually the one I had the most problems with mentally. It's like, seriously? You're going to go there? But then it's a Christian-based website that I got this from. So the next one is my decision based on faith and will the result be glorifying to God? So I have seen some of these tattoos that Christians get, and the answer to that question is no. OMG.
Are you talking about like true Christians, or are you
Yeah.
talking like, lip service Christians?
They're probably lip service Christians, even though they think they're true Christians. But some of those tattoos, whoa, Nelly. Well, and then there's all those. Yeah, it's so. Will it be glorifying? I think you should really, instead of that, is it truly representative of you? If you're going to get a tattoo, make sure you're getting one that is truly representative of you, rather than just because, I guess. And the last one here is, what are the health risks of getting a tattoo? Now, some people are allergic to some of the colors. You may have rashes and blisters and stuff. So, do your research before you get a tattoo.
I had a lot of my color actually not heal,
Mm.
and it washed away.
Oh,
It wouldn't
frustrating.
heal. Yeah.
Oh.
Of course, my tattoos were done jailhouse style.
Yeah, you're so weird.
It was
And
the
you were
thing to
sober?
do. Yeah, most of the time, I think. Yeah, no, they were all sober, but yeah, it was it was jailhouse style.
So just remember, your tattoos are generally permanent. If you regret your decision in the future, removal is possible, probably going to be painful, or you get a cover-up. And for some of those tattoos, seriously, a black sleeve is the only choice for a cover-up, and
Yeah.
that's not attractive either. So, yeah. and
I'm
yeah.
transracial.
Transracial. And lucky, hers is from the Marine Corps, so warrior mark, skid mark, life of achievement goals, etc. I think that's cool. And yeah, free tattoos. Be cautious with the free tattoos because not all tattoo artists are created
Are
equal.
actually artistic.
And if you haven't seen some of the artwork that they have done before they offer you a free tattoo, be hesitant unless you're okay being, the guinea pig. friend of mine that did the artwork, the horses and the bumblebee and everything. She does tattoos too. I'm so excited. So,
Oh God,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
yeah. Hey, Pam. So, when it comes to tattoos that are representative of the pagan faith, often they have some meaning and it's so there's some meanings attributed to some of those images or imagery and symbols. So, and that's for the pagan faith. Now, if you, I know some people do in memory tattoos, so significant other, children, family members, and I think that's pretty cool. In memory of. Again, make sure you've got a reputable artist doing the work, because I've seen some of these failed tattoos, and wow, they are fails. So just make sure you're getting something that is good. Century plant, an RIP, rest in peace tat, that kind of thing. Totally get it. Or Marine Corps. That's awesome. So, it's some of them. Just make sure you're checking the artwork of the person who is
Make
doing
sure
the
it's
tattoo.
their artwork.
Yeah, right. Because if you go into a tattoo shop, often they have binders or something that's representative of their work. In theory, is representative of their work and not their partner's work.
Or somebody who just left the
Exactly.
left
So
their portfolio behind.
exactly. So if you can see someone's portfolio, it's like, oh, flash, flash, flash. Oh, kids' crayon drawings. Make sure you're
Kids
you're getting the right thing. Julia, you do need an octopus tattoo because you're more of a sea witch than you think you are. Seriously, kid. So yes, you need an octopus. So, spider webs are actually a representation of a desire to get new knowledge and gain new information, because you're catching the knowledge as it comes to you in the web. Skeleton, skull are generally dangerous elements, but something that you are planning to use to achieve your goals. So it's a strong, for a witch or a pagan, skeleton skull, very indicative of the path that you're on, and that you're not afraid to step up to the plate and do what you got to do. Let's see. A candle often reflects the tattoo owner's inner world, a desire to gain new knowledge and and improve the available one, the one they're currently in. An owl generally symbolizes wisdom and a witch's tie to nature. Or a snake can mean hidden danger, which is always really close. Or a cauldron could symbolize inner spurs of the tattoo owner's soul. There's a lot of deep meaning there. An empty cauldron generally expresses the absence of important things in the current life. An overturned one means the tattoo owner's loss of control over their current life. Or a cauldron on the fire symbolizes changes for the better. So some of these, you may not know that you picked this image for a reason, but it may be your subconscious or your guides trying to help you or poke you in the right direction, because I think there's a lot of guides doing this. The face palm.
No way. I can't imagine any of them.
Yeah. Yours are probably like... a mini-me, they're probably... because that kid has no fear. She's such a good kid. So, I have side notes, random squirrel thought. I have a sulfa allergy, so sulfa-based antibiotics, I cannot take them. And there's a lot of sulfur in egg yolks. And we were eating egg salad sandwiches for lunch today, and it gave me the worst tummy ache ever. And I got to thinking, it's like, it's because the egg yolks. So I took a Benadryl. And actually, I felt better within like 15 minutes. It was like, oh, great. I have my show tonight. I need to make sure. I've had coffee after 2 p.m.
Squirrel.
Yes, I told you it was a squirrel. Anyways, here I pass out, and I'm sound asleep. And my daughter wakes me up by petting my face, which is the most bizarre feeling ever. But I wake up, she's got her pajamas on, all by herself. She's got the book that she wants me to read to her. She's had her snack. And she's brushed her teeth. And she's like, I'm ready for bed, Mommy. You need to read me stories. I'm like, okay. Do you need a snack? She goes, I had my snack. Can I have some cookie dough? It's like, yeah, go ahead and knock yourself out. I'm like, trying to wake up because napping in the middle of the day.
She had a snack and then she asked for cookie dough?
Yeah.
What'd she have for snack?
A granola bar. And then she had I said, yes, you can have some cookie dough. So she had a small spoonful of cookie dough. I looked. There's hardly any in there. And then she just, I was like, oh my gosh. And
do you have minutes of like, whose kid is this?
Yeah, and so I read the stories to her, and she gets up and we're cuddling, we're done with stories and we're cuddling, and she pats me on the shoulder. She's like, okay, Mommy, I need to go to bed now. You have your show. And I'm like, are you kidding? Can I give one more hug? And so she goes upstairs and she gets in bed and I tuck her in and she's like, you're the best mommy ever. I'm like, oh, you're the best little girl ever. And geez, I don't know who this kid is because I was pretty responsible.
It's a changeling.
But not like that. Oh my gosh. I mean, I would almost let her, she can babysit at this point. Holy cow. So yeah, she was just the most responsible little person ever. So I had to share because it had absolutely nothing to do with the show tonight.
I was kind of like looking for the connection.
Yeah, none.
And then I realized it was a squirrel.
It is a total squirrel. But I had to say it because this is a good kid most of the time. But her guides are probably face palming periodically and they're like, oh no, she's saving up for later.
She's like, they're like, she's going to sleep. Light it. Light it.
Yeah, I'm kind of dreading her teenage years.
Where's that bowl?
She is probably going to end up, she'll end up tattooed and pierced, and then I'll be like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I got a tattoo like you, Mommy. I'm like, you should have waited until you're 18 like I did. Do tattoos hurt? Yes, they can hurt. It depends upon your pain tolerance and the location of your tattoo. So the one that I got on my front, the outline hurt just a little bit as it was getting towards the end of the outline before he colored it in. And but other than that, it was no big deal. And then the one on my wrist, that one stung a bit. Is more like the sunburn feel. But once it was done, it was done. But then I'm pretty fluffy and insulated, so I don't know. I've heard that tattoos on areas where there's less padding hurt more.
Yeah, that's what I understand as well.
Tattoos on babies. I'm not really big on this, although I do know that sometimes it happens with like identical twins, triplets, that kind of thing. They'll put a dot or something on the bottom of their foot so they can make sure they've got the right kid.
Kid 1, kid 2, kid 1, kid 2.
Because some of those babies really are just identical, and I could understand how it'd be kind of hard.
I can tell you from fact that tattoos on the bottom of your feet don't last.
Well, if you're one, you're not walking.
Well, that's true.
And by the time it wears away, in theory, your personality is going to be out there enough that they can tell that you're thing 1 or thing 2. In theory. So,
unlike the nephews.
The nephews?
The nephews. The fraternal twins, not identical twins.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
They can't get away with anything.
No, well, some people can't. So, yeah, no tats on babies. Unless I could understand, little dots. I get it, but
I don't think Black Tree says babies getting ear No, you don't. Why?
Kids are hard enough. Why would you add one more thing you got to take care of?
Because just one moment of inattention or one fit throw and out comes the earring.
Mm-hmm. So I had to wait until I was 12 to get to get my ears pierced.
Huh.
And so my son wanted to get his ears pierced, and I made him wait until he was 12. And then Minnie, she wants her ears pierced, and it's like, no, you can wait till you're 12, just like everybody else. So, and I don't know. Lucky says ear piercings are the sign of a volunteer slave. I hadn't heard that. I know, like, pirates, you know, they used to have the gold ring that pirates used to wear.
Mm-hmm.
Totally off the subject, but it's still kind of. It was a gold ring, and it was because it was just to cover the cost of the funeral. So, on that note, we're going to go to break here
Break
pretty
already?
quick. Yeah,
Wow.
can you believe it?
Oh.
So, crooked ears? I don't know. You're weird. That would be bizarre there, Lucky. So, anyways, on that note, off to break. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Lord, within the sun, we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between.
Was there no bumper music?
No, it hasn't been on top of the hour for some reason. So, yeah, it's just weird. The choice is fish, Oh, okay. Interesting. Um, Julia, you're goofy. So, tattoos. Tattoos is the topic. So, Mr. Don,
Yes.
you have thought about covering up your tattoos from your youth.
Yes.
What have you thought about getting?
I don't know because I really don't want tattoos up there. If they're on my shoulder, like, on your arm. So, but they're there, and I really don't know. But I don't want tattoos up there. What I want, Oriental dragons on my thighs.
Okay.
But I'm not really worried about covering them up, or I just, they're just there. And truthfully, I just forget they're there.
Mm-hmm.
I've always forgotten they're there. Even after I got them, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that's there.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a tattoo on the bottom of my foot. It wore off, as it should have. But so that one's no big deal. But I don't have any regrets getting them. They're just ugly.
Okay.
So, I mean, me.
Brent, you're funny.
There'll be a face of Brent's face right now.
Y'all are just goofy. Just goofy. Well, I don't know. I have no idea what you would put on your shoulder to cover that up, honestly.
I don't either, so I'm not really worried about it. But
well, like mine, I totally forgot about it 100%. And then I went swimming the following summer, and my mom was there, and we get to the lake. Okay, in the Midwest, the lakes are not very big, so it was a lake. And so I'm getting ready to go in the water, take my shirt off, and my mom's like, "What is that?" She lost her ever loving mind. It's like, "Oh, what is what?" I'm looking down. It's like I'm wearing my swimsuit, and she's like, "That thing." And I looked down. I was like, "What? The tattoo?" She goes, "Yeah, that." I said, "It's just a tattoo." She goes, "Well, when did you get that?" I said, "Last year. I've had it for a year." So I don't generally wear low-cut shirts. I wanted something I could show if I wanted to, but generally speaking, it wasn't. So, yeah. Ethan, very cool. A tattoo of a dragon in Chinese lettering. So make sure.
It was the kanji, yeah.
Yeah, make sure if you're getting the kanji, you've actually really done, just like any foreign language, make sure you're getting the correct spelling. Otherwise, you're going to end up with, something that says chicken. Or, enter here or something. I don't know. It just, yeah. Yeah, so you just be aware. But Sonia has one.
Oh, good God.
Her non-pagan or non-witchy tattoo is the choice is fish.
The choice is fish?
Because she likes Henry Rollins.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, make sure you've got something that you like, whatever it is that appeals to you. So if you do go with runic symbols, like the Norse runes, most of those symbols all have specific meanings, and we've talked about them in the past, but just to really kind of touch base again, Manaz, it means the self, Gebo means partnership, Ansuz, signals.
Make sure you get them turned up, because they can, if you read it that way. There's a lot of people who don't read tarot cards in reverse, or they don't consider them in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who don't consider runes in reverse.
Or upside down, or
upside down, backwards, whatever.
So does that mean if you trip and fall down, the rune has changed direction and orientation? Or the tarot card?
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, because, Gebo also, if it's reversed, can mean strife.
Yeah.
Adversity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it kind of goes back to the whole making sure that what you're getting is spelled correctly. And is, regardless of which language it is or what artwork, that kind of thing. So, yeah, make sure it's correct. So, but let's see. Othila, separation, Uruz, strength, Perth, or Pertho is initiation, Nathes, constraint, Ingas is fertility, Awaz is defense, Algis, protection, Fehu, possessions, Wunjo is joy, Jera or Yera, depending on how you pronounce it, is harvest, Kano is opening, Taiwaz, warrior, Bracana, growth, Ewaz, movement, Lagos or Lagos is flow, Hagalaz, disruption, Rido is journey, Thurisaz is gateway, Degaz is breakthrough, Isa, standstill or Sawilu is wholeness, and then Odin or a blank rune would be unknowable, or that which is unknown. So yeah, it really depends on what you want it to be. But make sure, do your research before you go in, and don't just assume that your tattoo artist knows what they're talking about. And if you really want a tattoo to have some meaning, you can have it part of a ritual. You really can. You can do a ritual around your tattoo. Or you can have it, as part of a ceremony of some sort, or do the ceremony and then get the tattoo, that kind of thing, whatever. Or if your tattoo artist is someone who's upon the path, they can, make sure they're doing the work with the right intent. I mean, if you're getting a tattoo done, and maybe it is for you something in a dark place, but the tattoo artist is putting the intent of joy because they're experiencing joy in performing their art. Is it really a dark tattoo? Because the intention in the artwork itself is not dark. Or if you want something to represent something good in your life, and your tattoo artist is having just a crap day and is like, I don't want to, is your really positive thing kind of more...
I don't think I'd want anybody tattooing me if they were in a pissy mood anyhow.
Right? It's kind of like getting your hair cut by someone who sneezes a lot.
It's like a horror movie.
Right?
Being tattooed too deep. Or they can't see me anyhow. So.
Right. Oh, they can't, can they?
No, they can't. That's okay. They don't have to.
Nope.
Most of these people know what I look like anyhow.
Yeah, there.
Scary as hell.
We should get you some glow-in-the-dark paint for your beard.
This is my pensive look.
Your pensive look?
Yes, pensive. Pensive.
You're pensive, yes. So, yeah, just whatever your intention is, make sure it's there. So, for a lot of us on the pagan path, we use those runes, either as doing a reading or just writing out spells or doing intentions. I've done protection things where I've carved runes into something and given them to others. So it's just, what are you doing? Pay attention to it. Some people have moon phases. Actually, that's the one I want right here. Is because moon phases are very fundamental in the witchcraft world, the pagan world. So there's the 5 majors, of course. The new moon, waxing, full moon, waning, and dark moon, and each one of them have a specific kind of energy, and so there's different aspects of the moon. And so if you're going to get a tattoo with the moon, they mean different things. And I'm going to stop right there real quick because Titan asked a question.
Yeah.
I have not heard of that, and ew.
The question is have you heard of people getting tats with their dead loved one's ashes mixed into the ink? And the answer is yeah, I've heard of it.
I've not, but no.
It's the ashes they're sterile.
I know.
Unless, of course, they've been exposed to other things, but ashes in and of themselves are sterile. So it's not really gonna... It just matters if your skin rejects it or not.
That's how, possessions happen.
If you want to be possessed, that's one way to do it. Well, I guess, you can think of it that way, sure.
I don't know. I just... That's not something I really feel necessary to do.
I have heard of it, though. Oh, I'm so sorry. Goodness.
Now, I've heard people, getting their ashes compacted in this little ball, and you go plant it, and a tree grows up, and that's
how you get haunted forests.
Right? But at the same time, I get it. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever had the kind of attachment necessary to get ashes put into the ink and then embedded into my body. That's
You might as well just, eat their heart,
right.
I don't know, I mean, I don't think I'd be adverse to it. I mean, but it's not one of those things I think I'd do. If
Yeah.
somebody told me they did it, I'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of neutral, but at the same time, not for me. So again, do your research.
Well,
Is that really something you want? Is it really necessary?
but they do jailhouse tats. There's a lot of different ink recipes out there that do include ashes,
Mhm.
like cigarette ashes, in the ink itself. So yeah, I mean, it can be done. It has been done,
Mhm.
So, but it's not something. I don't. Whatever. Meh.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. To each their own. Just like tattoos and piercings, and there's some of them out there that are like, I don't know that I would do that, but to each their own.
Sure.
So talking about the moon, if you're getting like the new moon stands for new beginnings, hope, fresh starts, and positivity, which I agree with. Waxing moon stands for creating, accomplishing, growing, positive changes, and strength. I think there might be a cup of coffee upstairs if you really need one.
No, I don't need a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Because apparently my Aussie friends drank for me at 2:00 this morning.
You missed your date.
I did.
Shame on you. E-dates. Gotta tell you, weird world that we're living in right now.
Hey, let's have a play date on Zoom. What?
Well, kids need to interact somehow, right? The full moon stands for wish fulfillment, protection, achieving dreams, abundance, and the harvest. The waning moon stands for cleansing, releasing, undoing, and problem solving. I gotta wonder, some of these people that get tattoos with moons and everything, do they know that there's meaning behind the moon? I know a lot of them don't,
well,
I think.
but a lot of this though is self-interpretation.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. It matters on how they view it. So I think it's mostly just it doesn't matter to a lot of people. It means what it means to them, or
Or is it their
just looks
subconscious
cool,
talking?
or it's just cool in the artwork.
Mhm.
Like a wolf howling at the moon. It's a wolf howling at the moon.
Yeah.
To
that's
some
true.
people,
To
to
some
some
peop-
people, it could be something else.
Truth. So the dark moon stands for peace, rest, closing the books on something, wisdom, and divination. So yeah, kind of, if you're on the path, depending on what your intention you want to set or what you're trying to accomplish, make sure you're picking the right phase of the moon. If you want a tattoo of the moon, so just be aware. Some people, I'm not one of them, would get a tattoo of a Ouija board planchette.
That's just dumb.
Well, it's something that people use. It's a tool that some people think is integral because they use it for like automatic writing because,
Automatic writing.
I know, right?
What do you need a planchette for automatic writing for?
I don't know. And that's just, that's where words are produced without conscious thought about what's being written.
Okay.
That comes out of my mouth naturally. I don't need a planchette.
Exactly. Yeah. What did I just say?
Right? So, generally speaking, though, if someone has a planchette tattooed upon them, they're probably really into the paranormal, or yes, they are a witch or pagan. It's just it'd be a sign, I suppose.
Yeah, as in stop, go back.
Yeah, right. Don't do the planchette. Think hard before you do that. Very cool. Sonia. Spells. Casting a spell is not just chanting words and phrases. Often it requires different concoctions, like witch's brew. So combining certain elements and saying specific phrases is the best way to cast a spell. So make sure you know what you're doing before you're jumping in. So maybe you want to combine the planchette with a moon and a cauldron. Pay attention. So if you're doing a tattoo that's representative of a particular spell, make sure you have the elements correct. Um, because, some things when they're put together are kind of like, bleach and ammonia. It's not good for you. So,
It might kill you.
right? So if you do see someone with this kind of random assortment of nature type items, it could be representative of a spell. Animal skulls are very, very common with witches and pagans and witchcraft and such, and animal bones are generally representative of various things. So, people, if you see someone with animal skulls, they could be, on the pagan path. Or they could just think it's cool. I mean, there's a big chunk of the population out there who just think that sort of thing's cool anyway. So, a pentacle, though, that's, many think the pentacle is a pentagram and is associated with evil. That's not correct, because it's a different direction.
It's because it's been
widely used in Hollywood. We'll just leave it at that. So the pentacle technically is not a tool for dark magic. Instead, for most, it's the opposite. It's just a symbol that's used for protection and fending off evil. And the pentacle is a 5-pointed star in a circle. The 4 points represent the 4 elements, and the 5th represents oneself. So when you're getting the pentacle. Triple goddess. Generally, the triple goddess is a very Wiccan, witchy type symbol, and something that is, if someone's got the triple goddess, generally they're pretty pagan. Some, the triple goddess, the maiden, the mother, the crone. And they may also have the horned god or Pan or somebody like that. Let's see here. They might have a broomstick. A broomstick is a very common tattoo. It's pretty obviously witchcraft related.
or they like to clean. Or
Yeah.
it's their backup ride.
You never know. So, do you know why brooms and witches are connected? Okay, so during the Middle Ages, bread was made with a rye plant, or was made with rye, and the grain was very susceptible to rot or ergo. It's probably French. And when ingested certain ways can cause hallucinations and euphoria, and the desire to dance or fly. So eating this fungus would make you sick. So the broomstick kind of became an applicator of sorts. So you would apply the fungus to the broom handle, and then you would rub the broom handle upon your hoo-ha. Yep.
I'm waiting for the reason.
And or it had to be inserted like a suppository. And so often the broomstick was used in that respect. So, and then people would be riding around on their brooms. So riding around the broom was synonymous with getting high, basically. So
Is that why they rubbed it on the...
hoo-ha, yeah. Ultra sensitive, yeah. So
Wow.
so that's why Harry Potter likes to fly on the broom.
I bet he does.
Did you notice that we really never saw Hermione riding until she got older?
She
So
was the responsible one.
right? So elemental symbols are often, very, very pagan. Earth, air, fire, water, which is the triangles. We've talked about the triangles before. And that's a big deal. If you're more connected with a specific element, yeah, absolutely get a tattoo or have it integrated into your tattoos. I think that'd be interesting. I think it'd be cool. Tarot cards. If you have a specific card or deck that calls to you and you got it tattooed upon you, I think that'd be very interesting. I don't really have any one specific card that I use or that I draw. You know, supposedly you can pull a card and that's who you are. I just don't have that kind of a connection, so I don't. But if you did, that would be, a way to represent you. I mean, or if you think there's some that are much more transformative, like the Devil card is actually pretty transformative. Same with the Death card in tarot. I wouldn't have a problem with getting the Death card tattooed on me at all, because it means transformation, basically. So, but and again, just like I mentioned with the different languages, make sure you're picking the right card with the right meaning if you're getting it tattooed upon you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're all a little different. And different card sets have different meanings also. So, yeah, just pay attention. And why are you yawning?
I'm tired. Goodness.
It's catchy. Knock it off. Whoa. So, yeah. The death of a concept. I don't know. Not necessarily the person, right? I don't know. I missed something, I think. So, but yeah, regardless of what your tattoo is or where you're getting it or what it's supposed to mean, there's a couple of standbys that you do need to make sure. Tools are clean. You want to make sure you're getting clean tools, fresh needles, fresh ink. Often, like when I got my acorn, that tattoo artist, he put ink in little cups, poured it out so it'd be like separate, and then he opened the needle package in front of me, and he pulled the tattoo gun out of the sterilizing machine. So autoclave, thank you. So, right there in front of me, I could see that. Okay, granted, his little studio was about the size of this desk, so it wasn't very big, but it was. I was really impressed with the level of cleanliness that he had, because some places you go into, you're like, I just no, I wouldn't take a wrapped Band-Aid from this place. So yeah, it's I don't know. Just pay attention to where you're going and talk to the artist. Make sure you have a true connection with the artist, or at least you're not repulsed by him or her. As I know I've heard that there's a local tattoo artist that really prefers to tattoo women because he likes to leer at them. And so it makes some of the lady folks out there getting tattoos highly uncomfortable, so they don't want to go to him. Which I totally get. I don't want to be leered at. So, yeah, just, make sure you're being responsible in your choice of tattoo artists. You can see their work. They're clean. Their tools are clean. Because, yeah, you're less likely to have bad reactions or bad tattoos if you I just lost my thought because Titan goes, "Hey, do the number show again so we can get number tats." I still can't believe you all did math on a Friday night. Is that a true sign of lockdown, boredom?
Lockdown mania. Lockdown mania.
Right? Well, but so, if you've got a set of numbers that tends to show up more often, or something that has more meaning to you, yeah, I can see getting a lucky number tattooed upon you. Just be aware it could change, because life happens and things change, and I think that's the biggest thing that people need to think about when they're getting a tattoo is what and who you are today may not be who you are in 20 years. So, I got the tattoo of the dragon to protect me 25 plus years ago, and still relevant today as far as the artwork goes. I'm fine with the artwork, But I'm really glad I didn't go with something that was Christian based, because that's not who I am today.
Right.
So now I'm not saying that you have to be a pagan forever and ever, but if you're a pagan or a witch and you're truly committed to that path, then yeah, I could see getting a pagan or a witchcraft type tattoo. But if you're still undecided or exploring things, maybe you should wait on that particular tattoo, unless it really, really, really means something to you.
I
So.
just thought about all those people that tattooed their husband's or wife's name on themselves.
Right.
and then,
I think the funny thing is,
2 years later they're divorced and they hate each other and they
right.
taking shots at each other.
Or there's someone who's got a line of names down their arm.
And they're
and
all
they're
scratched out.
Yeah, it just makes me laugh.
It's
so.
like, nope, not that one.
Nope.
Nope, not that one either. Nope.
Nope.
No, it wasn't a Tanya. Nope.
All right, so it's break time. We'll be right back after about 3 minutes. So, see you guys.
Won't it be the spell forever done?
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath us, soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart.
Sisters Brothers of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And the topic tonight, generally speaking, is tattoos, but we've had a few squirrel moments because, hey, why not? You know, if you can't have a squirrel in your life, you know,
A raccoon will do.
right? Ooh. Okay. When I was a kid growing up, I had a pet raccoon. And you know what? I think raccoons are awesome. I would totally have another pet raccoon.
Oh, sweet little trash panda.
I think they're awesome. They're fun.
Yeah, I'll tear your house apart too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you need to make sure you've got, you know, your child safety locks firmly engaged. I have magnetic locks. They're actually used in homes where people are having mental issues like dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that, because you can't get in if you don't have the right magnet. And it's caused a few issues when Mini-Me has borrowed the magnet and put it someplace that it didn't belong. And because she's good at that, but yeah, so I would love a pet raccoon.
Whatever.
Oh, Mini-Me has chickens. She has baby chicks. And she informed me yesterday that she is taking care of the baby chickens so that she can, when they're all grown up, and she can show that she's doing the right thing. She said this. She wants a horse.
Of course.
Of course. So, yeah. So, yeah, she's trying to prove that she is responsible enough for a horse. She's 5, for crying out loud. Why is she so responsible? Ethan, so do some people. I'm just saying. But yeah, love them. So here, I've been talking about tattoos and everything, and I think tattoos are awesome, and if you're doing them for the right reason, get them. But there are some reasons why you should not get a tattoo. Okay, so there, you know, maybe everybody has the tattoo already. That's part of the problem with flash. Is everybody can get flash. And then, because it's like everybody's got tattoos on their back. You know, the tramp stamp was highly popular there for a while. You know.
Brett says, I've lived with a pet raccoon. Just for the record, they're sweet until they get big. Then they're little tornadoes.
So the very first one we had, and we had a couple of them. So, I don't even remember his name, but yeah, he bonded to most of us, but my baby sister, they had a true hate relationship, hate. Like he would charge her, and seriously, and he'd fluff up and everything, and charge at her. And there's a couple times I know she punted him across the room, and he would just land and come right back at her. They really did not like each other, but for the rest of us, he just wanted to snuggle and cuddle. So, but I think the last one we had, she was awesome. She just loved everybody. She had a Chihuahua friend that she played with, and at the time my dad had a silver fox, and they would run ragged through the house, and it was funny watching them, and they were good. She was a good pet, and she ended up hibernating in the barn, and then the next spring she had a litter of kits, and she would stop to say hi every so often, but she just became part of the wild population around us, which there's a lot of raccoons there, so it didn't, it was pretty normal. But yes, I have baby chicks and raccoons. Not a good mix.
Because I believe raccoons like baby chicks.
Yes, they have a very significant fondness for chicken.
Chicken, finger looking good.
Pretty much, yep. Or turkeys. They love turkeys too, by the way. You just got to catch them. So yeah, it was fun, interesting. So yeah, you know, if you're gonna get a tattoo, you really should get something original, rather than just the flash. Make sure it's personable, because if it's flash, odds are good you're getting the same tattoo somebody else has gotten. So have a good night, Julia. Tattoos are not cool or edgy anymore, so if you're trying to be edgy, it's not going to work. Just, oh, I have a call. Sonia, did you call me? Yay, I have a call.
Oh,
all right.
thank God.
Fine. All right, hold on.
Wait, what? Don't lose her.
I'm not. Hi, you've been super patient. Thank you for saying hello. Sonia.
It only made me 7 minutes, and it's really fucking weird to, it's like, oh, pardon my French, it's really weird to try to, like, get your attention on my phone by going to your thingy dooey and then also hearing the talking on my phone from, it was really loud.
You sent me a
describe
text
it.
too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
But-
I'm
and-
sorry.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So what's up?
Yes. What's going on?
I don't know, me still, right?
What's that?
No, I just called one. You said, what's up? Well, Dawn said, what's up? And I said, well, me apparently.
Oh, gotcha. Yes. So you have tattoos, yeah? I know you've got a couple of them.
Yes.
I
have 4.
You have 4, and I know you've waited a year between each one, and they've all had significant meaning for the most part. Yes.
All of them, even the non-witchy one. I tried to explain. Anybody who doesn't know who Henry Rollins is wouldn't get it. But if you know Henry Rollins, he was the leader of the Black Flag punk group, and I'm not into punk. Actually, I'd be probably one of the last people that are into punk. But he's also been in a few bit parts in movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's
He's
been in
done
about
a lot of
1,000 movies.
activism.
Yeah.
Hmm?
He's been in about 1,000 movies.
Oh,
Yeah, little bit parts here and there. But I've been to one of his speaking
engagements.
Yeah, and that was pretty awesome. I don't know, he's pretty intense, pretty dynamic.
Friggin' monster.
Yeah.
he is, and I don't always agree with everything he has to say, but I respect everything he has to say.
Yes.
Right.
I respect the way he holds himself, the way he presents himself.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I mean, so
and the choice of fish.
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you, Don.
Oh, I was just gonna say
Oh,
anybody.
the choice is fish.
All right, stop. Don's
Okay.
not going to talk.
Go ahead, Sonia.
Sonia is. Sonia, the floor is yours.
I'm going to try to make it a short. It was actually a long story, so I'll try to make it short. It actually came up in one of his comedy routines that he did, because they go all over, internationally, all over the place, doing their music and what have you. And they went to one place. I can't remember where he said it was. I think it was Sweden or something like that. And they went into this restaurant, and of course they couldn't read the menu. So they asked, what's on the menu? And the waiter literally said, your choice is fish. Not a very big fucking choice, no, is it? But I don't remember exactly what Henry's take on the choice of fish was, but it I adapted whatever he said to me, where it's you don't always get to choose what happens to you in life, but you get to choose how you react to it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so I put it on my right arm, like, you know, so it's like facing me anytime I look down. It's just a reminder, especially if I'm having a really shit day, which who isn't during COVID.
Right.
Just a nice reminder.
I think that's a good reminder. And sometimes we need that reminder that, you know, life is not always going to be like this. Yes, we have 100% control on how we respond to a situation, whatever it is. And it's our responsibility to respond to it appropriately. Excuse me, we're not responsible for the way other people respond to situations. Just ourselves. So, yeah. And yeah, you only have control over yourself. You
Exactly.
can't make someone else do something. So Brent goes. It's the second time today he's heard you don't get to choose what happens in your life. You get to choose how you react to it. So it's true, though. We need to make sure we are reacting appropriately or authentically. Maybe that's the better word.
Mm-hmm.
Although sometimes a temper tantrum is appropriate. Yes, Elaine. So I've done that too.
Or at least it feels damn good, whether it's appropriate or not.
Right? Exactly. So do you have, and your other
Yeah.
3 other tattoos are path related, right?
Yeah. So on my left wrist, I have. It's actually meant to look like kind of like a bracelet, more of actually, it was really interesting because long story, but I got 3rd-degree burns on my left wrist when I was a child. And so without the tattoo, there's these little frecklings, like you can still see the marks where it was. So I thought, when I got back into my spiritual side, getting away from Christianity and whatever, when I got back to my pagan roots, the very first thing I ever identified with, and I actually identified with it even during childhood, like just growing up, has always been the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt very strong. And I'm not Wiccan. I never want to be Wiccan. I'm not against anybody who is Wiccan. It's not my jam.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when looking into things, there were many symbols that Wiccans use that aren't fully Wiccan, and like the maiden, mother, and crone. That's something that is very big in Wicca, but it's not predominantly Wiccan.
They didn't
And
start
so
it.
I liked the idea of having a waxing, a full, and a waning moon.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle, of course, there's the triquetra, which is also the triple, in representation of a triple goddess. But I'm going to tell you a very funny story, very quick.
Okay.
After I got this tattoo with the triquetra,
Mm-hmm.
there were people that, oh, hey, you like Leonard Skinner, or hey, you really must like the TV show Charmed, or oh my goodness, that's a biohazard symbol. Really funny.
That's awesome. Biohazard.
Oh,
I'll show you biohazard. So yeah, that's awesome. But funny all at the same time. It's people like to jump to conclusions when they see things. I've noticed. That's why people assume that hey, like Julia, who's not on right now, she's got a cross on her wrist, and it's not because she's Christian. She just wanted a cross on her wrist for other reasons, and they're hers. But people say, "Oh, which faith are you?" Or which? Oh, you're a believer in Christ, aren't you? And she's like, "Oh no, actually, I am not." And have a nice day. So it's just interesting. People jump to conclusions when they see things. So yeah.
they just assume they know what's going on.
Yeah, very
But
much
the thing
so.
that I love the most, before I got my tattoo on my right and left shoulder,
Mhm.
just with the tattoo on my wrist of the moon, that's actually how, because it's hard. I'm okay letting everybody know my beliefs. I don't have a problem with it. If they're going to hang me or burn me or drown me, then they're going to do it and whatever. I'm not worried about it. I really am not. Because that's how comfortable I personally feel. But I know that so many people aren't that comfortable. But because I have this on my wrist, that's how I actually found more.
Mhm.
Because they were the only ones that knew what the fuck it was on my wrist.
Right?
And so I could actually have conversation.
I think that's right. I think it's real. In a way, it's kind of like that quiet symbol of, hey, you can talk to me about other things. I've bumped into people in the grocery store or at the restaurant or whatever, and they have a pagan-esque tattoo. It's like, hey, it's a really cool tattoo. You know, what's it mean to you? And it's just a conversation starter, you know. And they would go off, and it's like, oh, well, that's pretty cool because, and then we start talking about our path a little bit more, our tradition, and we connect that way. And I wish we could do that more. You know, I wish it could be just more open. So yeah, it's, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that you can just connect like that. Very much so.
Well, and I thought, like, it took me, like, I got my first tattoo 4 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably not as old as some of you, but I'm pretty old. So it took me a while to get a tattoo. And I thought, because I kept hearing people say, oh, tattoos are addicting. You're just going to, like, go down some kind of a rabbit trail. I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But then I actually found that once you get over the initial shock, because the first tattoo you get, no matter what your pain tolerance is, you have literally not only wounded your body doing this, so that's why it's really good to think about it before you do it, but you've set your body into shock. After you've done that once, the tattoos aren't so bad. Like, your body doesn't react so violently. But my first tattoo, my body was, my body didn't know what to do with me anymore.
Right?
But after I got over that, I'm like, tattoos actually can be addicting. And I was so excited that, hey, I got this tattoo, and I wanted to show everybody, and everybody that had a tattoo I saw, I wanted to show them mine. And I really quickly, in my enthusiasm, realized that nobody gives a fuck. They don't want to see your tattoos.
Maybe they
like,
do.
keep it in your pants kind of thing.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, some people just, they don't really care, but yeah, it's, you want to show it off. Like, I got my acorn, and like, hey, look, I got a tattoo, and everybody I work with was like, so what? So, yay, yay for you. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it's just kind of funny. Yeah, exactly. Yay. So, I don't know. I think it's important to have a good reason for a tattoo because, and have a meaning for it because, you're not rebelling. Having some sort of meaning, I think, is important. Yeah. Otherwise, why are you getting a tattoo? Because they're expensive. If you're going to drop, $600 or $1,000 on a back tattoo that's going to cover your entire back, I hope it means something to you. Because that's a lot of money to invest in just nothing. I mean, and a
lot of time because just doing the tattoos that I have, which I consider to be relatively small, not as small as your acorn, but they're not that big. Doing these ones, it still takes about an hour to an hour and a half. Doing a whole back or a whole arm or a whole leg, like, that's multiple sessions.
It really is.
You better damn well know what you're doing.
Yes. And if you didn't know your tattoo artist before you started, you will by the end of it if you're getting a long piece like that. So, and don't change artists mid project if you're doing a big back piece like that, because often they have different styles. So just be aware. But it's, I don't know. I think having some sort of meaning is important because it's an investment and it's pretty much a permanent thing. So.
Well, I've come to find out that many tattooists, if Susie does your tattoo and then you go over to Charlie won't touch up Susie's. Like, they generally won't do anything with somebody else's tattoo if they didn't do it.
Right.
At least in Canada. I don't know about the U.S.
I think some of it here, it depends upon where you're at. If it's in the same shop, yes. But again, it really depends on where you're at and what you've gotten done. Like the one I have, it doesn't make much sense to re-ink it as is. It makes more sense to do something new. Not just because of, I've
Well,
changed, but more because it'll be hard to cover up because you're basically drawing over somebody else's lines and hoping that you get it right and don't offset something.
hmm Well, the only fellow, like I've got 4 tattoos and I've had 3 artists. I mean, the first one I did, and I'm very happy with it, the Henry Rollins one.
Mm-hmm.
That was like when I got my first ear piercing. I went to the mall because you go to the mall and do it. Then you find out when you're older, no, never get your ears pierced at the mall. Well, that's also what I did with this tattoo. So I was lucky that this mall tattooist she was pretty good. I mean, I think she should have probably advised me a little bit better, or I should have researched better, or a bit of both,
Mm-hmm.
because the letters should have been a bit bigger than what they were. But then I went to this other guy for the one on my wrist, and then he just quit. He stopped tattooing at that place, so I couldn't go to him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I found the other one. So
Gotcha.
that's just a lot of babble, man.
Nope, you're
I
fine.
think I should have called you a lot sooner.
When you were still awake.
Almost time.
I know. Yeah, because we got 10 minutes left, and I wanted to kind of go over some of these reasons to not get a tattoo. So, I should call you
Okay.
this weekend or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yeah. What the hell? Like I thought you were on my phone. That's the
Right?
problem.
Hey, I'm in quarantine just like everybody else. I gotta tell you, it's this
Oh,
quarantine
okay.
thing.
That is a problem.
It's just been bizarre. So, anyways, well, thank you, Sonia. So I will give you a call and this weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Be a good girl or something like that. Bye.
always and forever. Bye. Thank you. Thanks, Sonia. So yeah, it's amazing, the different meanings behind a tattoo, and yeah, sometimes you can lose your tattoo artist, which is frustrating because they do often move, and if you don't have their contact information, like their personal information, it's hard to follow someone and keep their same work or that same level of work. Although sometimes you want to lose them. Because one of the big you should know your tattoo artist. You should know something about them, because it's important to know kind of who you're dealing with, at least a little bit. Yeah, sometimes you can get lucky with your artist. That happens a lot, but I'm dumb. Not that kind of lucky, but you can not all of us are created equal. If you're looking to get a job, that may be a reason to not get the tattoo right now, because some jobs, even though tattoos are more widely acceptable, there's still some discrimination or some employers that are very anti-tattoo. So if you're looking for a new job, you need to pay attention to where your tattoo is at, where it's located, because it may prevent you from getting the job. It happens. Make sure you're not going to regret the tattoo that you get. Like if you're getting someone's name tattooed upon you, I can see getting your child's name, but I don't know about your significant other. Or a memorial type tattoo with someone's name. I totally get that. But relationships don't always last. And as someone I've dated before, heaven forbid, I'm really glad that I did not get a list of people tattooed upon me because that.
Crossing them off. That one's gone.
Exactly. So,
It's a hit
pay
list.
attention to it because it's expensive to get those removed. And the laser guns that they use, often it takes several sessions to get a tattoo removed depending on what it is.
Yeah, you think getting a tattoo hurts.
Yeah. Cuz basically they're burning it off of you.
Kind of.
Yeah. If you're worried about being judged for having a tattoo, you shouldn't get one because people are going to see your tattoo and they're going to make assumptions. But just like the one I have, You know, the acorn, people just think I'm weird because they don't know what it means to me. But if I had a cross or something, or the triple moons, that'll be different. So yeah, pay attention. You know, if you donate blood, planning to get pregnant, that kind of thing, you need to pay attention because if you donate blood a lot, you can't give blood if you've had a tattoo for like a year, because they want to make sure you didn't get some disease or something like that. You need to pay attention to the location because certain sweat glands and certain locations, like your palm of your hand, the bottom of your foot, they're not going to stick as long, or they may compromise your skin a little bit, like getting a tattoo in your armpit. I don't know why you would do that, but the sweat gland there can often interact poorly. So there's a couple of reasons. If you're sick with the virus, don't get a tattoo. Seriously. If you're sick, wait. Just because, yes, your body will go into shock. So, tattoos 101 or 054, whatever. So yeah, if you want one, get one. But don't judge anybody. Make sure you know what it means. So merry meets and merry parts and merry meet again.
Wow.
We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Okay. Good night.
Yeah, Don needs to go night.
Yes. Good night.
Now forever, darling.